What do it be, fellow nerds and virgins? Welcome back to another dumbass video. As the title said, we're looking at the best skeleton dollar for dollar your money can buy you. And am I exaggerating a little bit? Maybe, but I'm not exaggerating about the price being extremely good for what you're getting. Now let's actually get into it, because obviously you clicked on the video for the goddamn skeleton, not me. Even though if you did click on the video for me, I am quite flattered. Thank you. Damn. Should really go get a fucking goddamn massage or something. But enough of that. Let's get into the damn skeleton. Here's the skeleton we're talking about. Best skeleton that your money can buy, dollar for dollar. So before we talk about the skeleton himself, let's get into what this skeleton actually is. It's Science to the Mask, the Ultimate Experience Kit. Recommended for ages 8 and plus, 8 and up. Obviously, a pretty cheap little thing. This is meant for kids, obviously, to like teach them stuff. See, it says everything right here. Fully posable, plus stand included. 3 double-sided activity cards, which they should say posters, because it really is basically posters. I mean, those things are huge. But yeah, as you can see, all the stuff that comes with, all of this and this. Like I said, this thing is dollar for dollar, best skeleton you could probably get out there. But let's actually get into the skeleton itself. Whoop! Articulation on this guy. I have him stripped down, obviously. I took off all of his accessories off and whatnot. But yeah, his jaw can actually hinge open. So that's something that a lot of other skeleton figures don't actually have, even though they're more pricier, but we'll get into that later. The arm range is pretty good, but you do have to be a little, well, there goes his rib cage. So that's a little bit of a flaw with it. The ribs come off a little bit, a little too easy for my liking, but it's kind of all right for me for what it is. And I'll explain why later, just because it has to kind of do with the price. But the neck range is actually pretty good. Yes, best skeleton dollar for dollar your money can buy. Oh my god. Hold on, folks. Whoop. We got his neck back on. As I was saying, best skeleton your money can buy you, dollar for dollar. Like I said, this thing is still pretty cool to me. You do have to be a little careful with the joints and whatnot, just because it does come off pretty easily with most things on this figure. Like I said, same thing with the arm right here. Just gotta be a little careful if you really want to like get into poses or anything like that. Arms come out relatively far, considering, you know, it's a skeleton. You can hit him with a little bit of a T-pose, get a little further than a T-pose, honestly. The waist, or not the waist, the ab crunch, sorry, that's what I'm thinking of, is extremely good. I mean, if he wanted to, he could probably bend down enough where he could suck his own, you know what. But then again, he doesn't have one, unfortunately. Oh, damn, now he's just depressed about it. Now he realized he don't got one. Damn. Enough of the depressing stuff, though. Get your head back up, motherfucker. Enough of the... His leg articulation is a little limited, unfortunately. His legs only come out to about there, even though you can, if you really wanted to, get his leg to come up relatively far. So, you know, you want him to do an axe kick, don't mind the arm falling off. Jesus Christ. There we go. So if you want him to do an axe kick like Rose Namajunas, you know,
coming forward, yeah.
It's a baggie of all his accessories, man. So, it comes with this bag, which is nice because for me especially, I'm not going to use a lot of this. At least not have it on him. Some of this I will use, but a lot of it is actually really cool, even if you're not going to have it on your skeleton. A lot of it is like obviously muscles and stuff, because this is supposed to just be for obviously teaching kids about, you know, your body and stuff, how everything works, your intestines and whatnot, how everything like that works. So obviously, speaking of intestines, you know, you have this, which this is probably my favorite accessory, because if you want to, I think you can use this with your 1/12 scale figures. So even if, you know, you're not a 1/6 collector or anything, or this would be your only 1/6 thing, just because you wanted, you know, a cool skeleton, this is something if you're doing stop motion or you're posing things up up and you want to act like your figure got cut open, split your figure in half and just put this there, or hell, just have it on him on the stomach right here, and then just add some vampire blood, which is something I use from time to time for my stop motions and photography and stuff. As I said, vampire blood right here. All right, so that's something really cool. Obviously, you got your usual muscle stuff that can go onto the skeleton itself. Same thing here, just the muscle stuff. You got the actual lungs, the heart, all your little goodies and stuff. And you can obviously use this for just your 112, I'd say, especially with the heart. I don't know so much for the lungs. Those might be a little, I guess you could. It'd be a little bit exaggerated, but I think it could work if you were really to do certain angles and whatnot. But yeah, I think this is really cool. As I said, most of this stuff is really muscle oriented things. There's a couple of things that aren't like this, like the bladder and whatnot. Obviously, that's what that's supposed to be. Got the bladder, more muscles and stuff. But that's about all the accessories besides the stand that obviously comes with in itself. But yeah, let's get into scale comparisons. Obviously, here's the next to 1/6 Joker, which stands about 12 inches. Get on that. Yeah, about 12 inches. And the skeleton himself actually stands a little bit taller at around 15 or so inches, maybe a little taller if you're going back to the top of his head. So yeah, he is really, really big even for a 1/6 scale figure if you want to use it for that. But even that way, if you don't want to use him for 1/6 scale, if you're not a 1/6 scale collector, honestly, I think he could work great with, like, if you're making a skeleton army and you want a giant skeleton, say a giant died or something, and you can put him in with that. Just as an example, here's him next to I'll put him next to a Boss Fight Studios skeleton right. Here's him up next to my Boss Fight Studios skeleton figure, obviously. I forget which exact name of this guy is. It's the Luchador of their recent Epic Hacks line. But yeah, as I said, if you don't want him if you're not a 1/6 collector or you don't want him for your 1/6 figure, just say he's a giant and maybe he's the leader of your skeleton army if you're into skeletons. Or, if you're a Masters of the Universe fan, say that, I don't know, Scareglow or what's his goddamn name? Skeletor. I don't understand how I couldn't remember his name. Skeletor, brought him back as well. And, he's this giant skeleton that Skeletor has brought through, through spells and stuff. You can do all kinds of things like that. You don't exactly just have to use it for what it is. You can use your imagination for products, obviously. So obviously, like I said, it's really big even for 1/6 scale figures. I mean, here's a comparison of it next to a Custom El Santo I have. Whoop! As I said, here's him up against my Custom El Santo, and he towers over him. I mean, he's really cool looking. Obviously, I really like how this looks together. Because if you don't know who El Santo is, he's basically just an old Mexican luchador who was super famous. And super famous in Mexico. And basically, he had a bunch of horror movies where he fought, like, Frankenstein, Dracula, and things like that. If you guys are at all interested in, by the way, buying anything from this, like, custom, like this guy, whether it's of El Santo or other luchadors, I should try and put an image up of his eBay account. Dude's real cool. He packs these things really nicely, so when you get them in the mail, they're all nice. But let's not talk about that right now. Obviously, we're talking about this skeleton. So, as I said, it scales really nicely, and you can use it with your 112 if you want. And hell, if you don't want a skeleton, honestly, with all the muscles and guts he comes with and everything like that, if you have a custom 1/6 Hannibal Lecter, Leatherface, I mean, not custom, but if you have a 1/6 Hannibal Lecter, 1/6 Leatherface, any killer like that, you can literally just put some blood over all the muscle and brains and whatnot. Because if you guys, I never even showed you guys this, but obviously I stripped down all the body. Oh, his head came off, but it's fine. The skull actually you can actually crack the skull open and it reveals a brain. So, like I said, you can literally just use this however you want. Really, you just have to use your imagination with this damn thing. But let's get into my gripes and my final thoughts with this figure. Whoop. So my final thoughts and complaints on this figure. Obviously, all the joints pop off a little too easily. So if this company happens to watch this video, you guys should work on that a little bit. I know this toy is oriented towards kids, but even more of a reason to work on that. But I think this thing could go great, obviously, with collectibles. That's just what this whole video is about. And for a reasonable price. The main reason I like this thing so much, and the main reason I'm okay with all those flaws, is because this thing is only $20. For $20, you're getting basically a 1/6 scale skeleton. And sure, it has its flaws, but again, considering how expensive a lot of 1/6 scale figures are, I think it's perfectly okay for what it is. Hell, if you don't want to use this for, you know, a toy, if you like just Halloween, or I don't know, maybe you're into like really just horror type shit, put this up in your room somewhere. Damn, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, and I've stressed how many different things you can do with this thing, as far as you know, using him just for a dead body, for Hannibal Lecter to be eating at it if you have a 1/6 Hannibal, for Leatherface and his family to be eating out of it if you have a 1/6 Leatherface, and for you to just use it as a giant skeleton, as if a giant died, and you use it with your army, or for Skeletor from Masters of the Universe, who brought it back, or Scareglow, you know, made used some magic to get a giant skeleton. You know, many of the times with just toys in general, I think people should be more imaginative with how they collect and what they collect. Still, this figure also came with a shit ton of accessories. I think on its own, without all the accessories, I would have bought it for $20. But yeah, you know, I think that this is full worth the price. Especially, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you know that someone out there really cares about you, even if you don't know it. And, you know, hope you guys enjoy that little stop motion. And yeah, man, I'll catch you in the next video. I have a couple more lined up. Just waiting for some things to show up. So yeah, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Whoop.
Mira bien, hijo de tu